Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the National Western Stock Show. Apologize about that. The playlist got started before I was ready. So at this time, like we do every single day at the National Western, we would like to take time and play our national anthem. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the National Western Stock Show here for Thursday, January 16th at the 2025 National Western. This is the 119th edition of the National Western Stock Show in the best 16 days in January. The National Western Stock Show is presented by Common Spirit Health. Common Spirit Health is the proud presenting partner and the official first aid provider of the National Western. Common Spirit is committed to unleashing the healing power of humanity through human kindness. You can learn more at mountain.commonspirit.org. In the show ring for our exhibitions today will be our Hereford Junior Show. That's going to be in your northern show ring. We're going to have class number 1. These are horned spring heifer calves. We have a single entry within this class. Entry 1451 comes from Maya Connell of Wheatland, Wyoming. In your southern show ring, we have started our junior Angus show. We have a cow-calf pair in the ring at this time. This is class number 1 of your junior Angus show. Entry 1001 comes from Garrett Green of Powell Butte, Oregon.
I'll certainly echo that with Mark. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. I'm looking forward to working through the Angus cattle. We're starting off with a nice pair here. Young man's got a long-bodied, sound-made, nice fronted cow with a big stout heifer calf at side. Good first entry to lead off things here. Congratulations on your class winner here at the National Western.
Your results for class number 1 of your Herefords. First place, 1451 from Maya Connell. In the ring at this time for your Hereford show is now class number 2. These are horned spring heifer calves. Single entry, 1452 from Kendall McCreevy of Crooks, South Dakota. Your results coming in for your junior Angus show. First place for class number 1 of cow-calf pairs, and your champion cow-calf pair is entry 1001 from Garrett Green. Coming into the ring for your junior show. Actually, I believe at this time we're going to take pictures at the backdrop with our champion cow-calf pair, so we will pause our Angus show momentarily for pictures. Your results for class number 2 of your horned spring heifer calves. First place, 1452, comes from Kendall McCreevy. Making their way into the ring at this time now is class 3 of our horned spring heifer calves. This is one of our larger classes for today. Class 3 includes entry 1454 from Logan Bryant Rhodes and Connor Rhodes. 1457 from Cole Smith and Hunter Smith. 1458 comes from Hadley Harrison and Hannah Harrison. 1459 comes from Kennedy Jean Hoffman. 1460 comes from Nora Lee Work. And 1467 comes from Cruz Collier. Those are your entries that will make up class 3 of your horned spring heifers. Back over to your southern show ring. We now have in the ring class number 2. These are going to be your junior Angus females division. Starting off with class 2, entry 1004 comes from Harper Scott of Gordon, Nebraska. 1005 comes from Callie Flood of Oakdale, California. And rounding out our class is entry 1006 from Spencer Allen Wright of Lebanon, Tennessee. These are the 3 entries that will make up class 2 of your junior Angus female show.
Well, a nice class of June heifer calves here. I've elected to go with the young lady in the black here. A big bone, big ribbed, thick made heifer that's still got a nice look. I think compared to the other two, when you get over to this perspective, she's pretty tough to beat in this class with her extra dimension and power and substance that she has. My only reservation is when you watch her go away here, she kind of turns her hock in, gets a little tighter there in her ankle, but I think her body, her mass, her substance is what's going to win out. Now, I like the front end of the heifer in second. She's really clean and long and attractive up front there. She's got a nice shape from behind. Touch frailer in her footwork and maybe just not as massive and powerful and has as much substance to her there as that one that wins today, but a really square, good-looking heifer with some extra shape. This heifer here gives you a nice silhouette from the side. She's smooth, she's deep-flanked, she's long-hipped. You know, a heifer that just splays out a little up front, maybe gets a little tighter in her hind leg and pulls her hock in. I didn't know if she was as thick as maybe those first two either. Congratulations, though, and still a nice kind of a female to be third.
Your results for Class 2 of your Junior Angus show: third place, entry 1005 from Callie Flood. Second place, 1006, comes from Spencer Allen Wright. And your class winner, entry 1004, comes from Harper C. Scott of Gordon, Nebraska. Within your Junior Angus show, we will now move on to Class number 3. Class number 3 will consist of entries 1008 from Michael Voloshin of Craig, Colorado. 1012 from Sutter Clark. 1013 comes from Jasper Willis Clark. 1014 comes from Garrett Green. 1015 will come from Tyler Kraft. 1017 will come from Madison Fisher. And 1019 will come from Hayden Riley Hahn. Those are your entries that will make up Class number 3 within your Junior Angus show. Your results for class number 3 of your horned spring heifers. 6th place, 1457 from Cole Smith and Hunter Smith. 5th place, 1454 from Logan Bryant Rhodes and Connor Rhodes. 4th place, 1458 comes from Hadley and Hannah Harrison. 3rd place, 1460 from Nora Lay Work. 2nd place, 1459 from Kennedy Jean Hoffman. And your class winner, 1467, comes from Cruz Collier. Within your Hereford show, we will now bring back our class winners. Our judge will select your champion and reserve champion horned spring heifers. Your champion horned spring heifer calf is entry 1467 from Cruz Collier.
Well, here on my side, as we get into these May heifer calves, a nice class with a lot of variation all the way down. I thought there were 3 heifers that sorted up here pretty quickly, and this young man's a little more my kind in terms of just hip and hind leg and foot size, a little more bend maybe and reach up out of the front end of this heifer here. She gives you a great look from the side. She's deep flanked, very feminine and maternal in her kind. If I were going to change her, it's maybe just at the top of her shoulder, how she comes right in there to her spine. I'd strengthen her up just a shade, maybe stouten her a bit, but I think that is a sound, big-footed one that gets out and goes really comfortably. I like this heifer a little better when you get behind him. She's bold ribbed, she's pretty powerful, she's got a good shape down her top, she's still really nice up in her front end. That little pair of cattle there, that one was just a little neater in motion. This one's a little stouter. I'll lean on the one that'll just holds her balance together a shade better in motion, but that's a very good heifer there. This little heifer here is a good-bodied, bold-ribbed one that's square and stout. She probably is a lot like the one in second in terms of genuine dimension and substance. She maybe just gets a little bit tighter in motion today, a little like the one in second. I didn't think there was quite as much there, so I felt like third was where she needed to go, but I think a lot of future there in that one. The next 2 or 3 of them get pretty close. I elected to go with this big, long-fronted and deep-bodied kind of cowy heifer here. She's not as attractive from the profile and her balance. That's why she worked down. The next pair, again, were real close. I went with this young man's a little thicker, wider, deeper heifer here. I don't think she's just square enough in her hind leg as she goes. She gets just a little straighter up in her shoulder, but I like her extra power. The next one's very feminine and refined and big-bodied, a little daintier everywhere you study her. I'd like to make her a little thicker all the way through. We're going to round out a heifer that's got a lot of performance and substance to her and dimension. I wonder if her structure, tail head there, just all fit together, but overall a real thick-made, powerful kind of a heifer.
Your results for class number 3 of your Junior Angus show. 7th place, 10-14 from Garrett Green. 6th place, 10-13 from Jasper Willis Clark. 5th place, 1008 from Michael Voloshin. 4th place, 1015 from Tyler Kraft. 3rd place, 1017 from Madison Fisher. 2nd place goes to entry 1019 from Hayden Riley Hahn. And your class winner is entry 1012, comes from Sutter Clark. Within your Angus show, we will now bring back our class winners from classes 2 and 3. Our judge will select your champion and reserve champion summer heifers. Over within your Hereford show, our reserve champion was just crowned for our spring heifers. That comes out of class number 3. That is going to be the 2nd place from class number 3. That is entry 1459 from Kennedy Jean Hoffman. We will reset our ring for our Hereford show and bring up class number 5. Class number 5 will be horned junior heifer calves. These heifers will be calved from January 3rd of 2024 through January 26th. We'll have 2 entries in class number 5. 1465 will come from Hayden Mary Hoffman of Thedford, Nebraska. And 1466 comes from Alexis Hammond of Kinmundy, Illinois. These are the only 2 entries within the class. This is the only class in the division. So 1st and 2nd within class number 5 will become your champion and reserve champion junior heifers.
All right, in this division of the Angus show here, Junes and Mays, I think this is a nice group, and all 4 of these cattle have a lot of future to them. We talked about the look and balance of those first 2 up there. They're still immature in their kind. Maybe change them a little movement, settle them into their structure. This last class here, we had a pair of really, really high-end heifers that have some differences to them, but are both presented really well. I think it makes sense to keep them 2 together. division champion will be this gentleman, and reserve will be the second in that class.
Your champion summer heifer calf comes from class number 3. That is entry 1012 from Suter Clark. Your reserve champion comes way of that same exact class. That is entry 1019 from Hayden Riley Hahn.
Well, a shorter class here as we get into our Aprils, but we got a really nice heifer to lead off. Big-footed, good-footed heifer that's got a really nice hip and hind leg to her. She balances up nicely here and gets out and travels really, really comfortably. You know, not the fleshiest or the bulkiest one, but she's got a nice shape and she's genuine in her condition. Really put together. The next three of them are a little closer. I elected to go with this little heifer here that's pretty youthful up through her front end. She's good in her body type. I think today she's a little uncomfortable. She maybe pulls her hock in, but I like her balance and her presence that she has there. Big old long heavy heifer comes next here. It's got a lot of dimension to her. Gets a little plainer up front, maybe gets a little tighter off of her hind leg. Then we got another One that's real long and extended and loose made. Just need to stouten her up all the way through, make her a little nicer balance from the profile. Good job.
Within your Hereford show, your results coming out of class number 5, second place in your reserve champion for your horned junior heifer calf is entry 1466 from Alexis Hammond. And your class winner and your champion junior heifer calf is entry 1465 from Hayden Mary Hoffman. In the ring at this time for our Hereford show is now class number 6. This is our senior heifer division. We have a single entry within Class 6. This is entry 1473 coming from Libby Perez of Texline, Texas. This is the only entry in the class, the only class in the division. Therefore, first place with Class number 6 will become your champion senior heifer. Your results for class number 6 of your horned Hereford heifers. First place and your champion senior heifer is entry 1473 from Libby Perez. Making their way into your Hereford show ring will now be class number 7. Class number 7 will be horned early summer yearling females. We'll have 2 entries within this class. 1474 comes from Haxton Harold Hoffman of Thedford, Nebraska. 1476 comes from Ella Pagel of Nedstrand, Minnesota. Those are the only 2 entries within the class, the only class within the division, so therefore first and second within class number 7 will become your champion and reserve champion intermediate yearling females. Some results to get to over in your Angus show. Your results coming in for class number 4. Fourth place was entry 1028 from Hunter Shoemaker. Third place was entry 1026 from Daniel Young. Second place went to entry 1033 from Lane Toledo. And your class winner was entry 1024 from Madeline Norvell. In the ring at this time for your Angus show is now class number 5. Class number 5 consists of entries 1034 from Fallon Gore, 1035 from Brenna Lee Ann Bartlow. 1037 comes from Caitlin Lee Poser. 1039 comes from Keegan Caroline Mather. 1040 comes from Claire Ann Mernon. And 1043 rounds out your class from Allie Perry. These are the entries that make up class number 5.
Well, an interesting class of these early Aprils here, and 5 nice heifers. This young lady's, I think, puts the most together in her body, her look, her balance that she possesses here. I think she's got a nice shape to her upper rib. She's powerful out of her hip. The one little thing I'd change is how she moves out of her front end, but I think we get into some issues here in 2 and 3, and so I think when you just prop them up there from the side, I think she's got the best look of balance and quality. I like the female quality of this heifer in second. She's really pretty and angular, probably a little looser structured. I want to change her hoof shape, stouten her up there a little bit, change her a little in her front end. I really like the foot size, the bone of this heifer, the depth to her body. Her shoulder just really bugs me and how it really sets out there. And then when she goes, she probably just paddles a little bit. But I do like the extra substance and dimension she has there. This next heifer is a little longer bodied, neater up through her front end. She's a very muscular kind of a heifer. She's a little rigid in her movement today. She wants to pop up in her tail head there, but I think that's a very good heifer as well. And then we're going to round out the group with the deep bodied, easy fleshing type of a heifer here that just needs a little more balance and eye appeal to her from the profile. Good job to all of you.
Your results for class number 5 of your Junior Angus show. 5th place, entry 1040 from Claire Ann Mernon. 4th place, 1039 from Keegan Caroline Mather. 3rd place, 1037 from Caitlin Lee Poser. 2nd place, 1034 from Fallon Gore. And your class winner, entry 1043 from Allie Perry. Making their way into the ring for your Angus show will now be class number 6. Class number 6 will consist of entries 1044 from Connor Cook, 1046 from Julia Gillette, 1183 from Kelly Ann Gaffney, 1049 from Pfeiffer Rosenberger, 1050 comes from Lane Toledo, and 1051 comes from Hayden Hoffman. Those are your entries for class number 6 in your Angus show. Results to get to in your Hereford show. Results coming in from class number 7 and your intermediate division drive. 2nd place, the reserve champion intermediate yearling female, entry 1476 from Ella Pagel. And 1st place, your champion intermediate yearling female, went to 1474 from Haxton Harold Hoffman. In the show ring at this time for your Hereford show is now going to be class number 8. These are horned spring yearling females, calved April 14th of 2023 through April 20th. We have 4 entries in this class. 1477 comes from Fallon and Gunnar Gore. 1478 comes from Kinsley Altina. 1479 comes from Ireland McCreevy. And 1480 comes from Conrad and Lena Kaminsky. These are the entries that will make up your class 8 of your Herefords.
Well, very nice class here, and this young lady's got a big-footed, stout-made heifer here with a lot of dimension to her. Still balances up really nicely from the profile here. A good kind of a female. Holds her tail up just a little bit there, and maybe got a tick of chest, but minor things. I think that's a good, stout, powerful one that still gets out and moves really nicely. Next pair, we're a little closer. I elected to go with this smoother shouldered, nicer fronted, a little fresher conditioned heifer here that probably just is a little more flexible when we get her out in motion. I'd change her a little out of her hip there, maybe make her have a little more fill and depth. The next heifer in the lineup definitely has a little more depth of body and rib to her, a little further along in condition-wise. She just wallers a little out of her shoulder there, maybe showing just a little more on her. I'd just like to make that a little more ladylike up through her front third there. The next heifer is a little bigger boned and more angular, a little bigger in her outline. I can appreciate that. This heifer just falls apart a little in motion there in her shoulder and her top line. I'd like to make her a little more genuinely stouter right in behind her as well. We're going to round out with a nice big-bodied, cowy kind of a heifer here that gets a little plainer down her top line and out of her hip. Congratulations to y'all.
Your results coming in from your class number 8 of Herefords. Fourth place, 1480 from Conrad and Lena Kaminsky. Third place, 1479 from Ireland McCreevy. Second place, 1478 from Kinsley Altina. And your class winner, 1477, comes from Fallon and Gunnar Gore. Making their way into the ring for your Herefords is class number 9. These are horned spring yearling females, calved March 2nd through March 12th of 2023. We have in this class 2 entries. 1482 comes from Ava McCoy, and 1483 comes from Jason Diaz. Results to get to in your Angus Junior show. Class number 6, 5th place went to 1046 from Julia Gillette. 4th place, 1044 from Connor Cook. 3rd place, 1050 from Lane Toledo. 2nd place, 1049 from Pfeiffer Rosenberger. And your class winner, 1051 from Hayden Hoffman. In the ring for your Angus show is now class number 7. Class number 7 has entries 1052 from Nalia Bobols, 1054 from Daniel Young, 1056 from Hannah Harrison, 1057 from Scarlett Carney, and 1058 from Allison Friesen. These are the entries that will make up class number 7.
This is a really good class on this side of these marches. I think we got a lead-off heifer here that's pretty dominant in my opinion. I like this heifer a bunch. She is big-footed. She is so flexible in her feet and legs. She's tremendously big rib and has some extra dimension to her and still really nice up through her head and her neck there. I think for the things she does, she wins this class pretty comfortably. That's a very, very high-end heifer there to lead off. This next one is a little more freaky up through her front end, a little neater about her neck and head and all that. Gives you a neat look. A little trimmer condition, maybe even a little bigger right there to her pin setting. I like that. She don't quite get out of her knee and her front end just as nice. Everything doesn't hold herself together as good, but that's is that one that wins, but that's a pretty good heifer there to be second. This one's got a little more to her than the heifer right in front of her in terms of rib, muscle, and thickness. She gets a shot planer up there through her front end, maybe just a little shorter striding as well. Similar comments about this heifer, deep-bodied, heavy bone, little thicker necked, a little plainer. And then we're going to round out with a smaller-sized, deeper-bodied heifer here, just a little short striding, a little tighter constructed. Congratulations to all you there.
Your champion horned spring yearling female comes from class number 8. That is entry 1477 from Fallon Gore. Your reserve champion spring yearling female comes from class number 9. That is entry 1482 from Ava McCoy. Within our Angus show at this time, we have brought back our class winners from 5, 6, and 7, and our judge will select your champion and reserve champion junior heifer calves.
Well, this has been a very good division here on the Angus side, and ultimately, I know this ring, these calves, you have to face them out, but I certainly wanted everybody in the crowd to be able to look at these, and these young ladies here with their class winners are working their tails off getting them put together, and I think you could see all the quality that we have here. A few things about them. I want to highlight some stuff. This heifer up here in the front, I think, is one that is awesome structured. She's got a great hip and hind leg to her. She's got some length of body, and she's very genuine in her width and her dimension. Again, maybe she's not as neat and in her chest and her throat latch as a couple of these, but I think there's that one's built like a junior yearling there to be very, very good on down the road and fresh in her condition. This next heifer in the lineup is one that when they're parked, I think you could absolutely think about. She stands out. She's big-bodied. She's nice-fronted. She's got a lot of substance and dimension to her there. We walk them around here, and she gets just a little tighter moving. I change her just a shade right up here in this front end structure. The next heifer in the lineup's a big bone, rugged made one that's got a lot of just length, extension, and dimension to her. She maybe also just comes apart a little in motion here, tail head and hind leg just maybe don't hold herself together as nice as a couple of them, but I love the foot and the bone, the length of side, the genuineness she has in her composition. This heifer out of the last class here is pretty overwhelming. When you stop from the profile here, she's giant-footed, she's big bone, she's loose structured, and she's got some dimension to her, and yet she still balances up pretty good. She gives you a pretty hard to beat kind of look over here from the profile. I think as I think about this, all 4 of these class winners have very similar WDAs. There's variations in their age and flesh and that kind of stuff, and I think that certainly goes into it. But nice group of seconds, but when I think about this, there's a pair of cattle that suit me a little bit better from a structure and balance standpoint. We're going to use this young lady right here in the back for a division champion, then we'll use the young lady up in the front for reserve. Congratulations.
Incredibly well presented, really bold and perfect to the center portion of her skeleton. One that I think is certainly stays freshness in her overall makeup for one at this point in time, age in her show career. She handles that well up to her neck and down into her lower chest. But then it changes this one ever so slightly. She wants to turn out of her knee as she needs to surface, and that's not naturally as collected and nice up front there. As we wanted to be kind of progressively wide in the front career, but that's being picky and also got lady, this is about
Some results to get to in your Hereford show, class number 10. Second place and your reserve champion junior yearling female comes from 1486 from Haxton, Hayden, and Kennedy Hoffman. And your class winner and champion horned junior yearling female is entry 1488 from Cruz Collier. Within your Hereford show, we will now bring back all of our division winners. Our judge will take the time to select your grand champion and reserve grand champion horned females. Over on your Angus side in the ring is now class number 8. Class number 8 consists of entries 1063 from Jace Dickerson, 1065 from Daniel Young, 1066 from Keegan Caroline Mather, 1071 from Jack Gillette, 1072 from Tyler Kraft, and 1074 from Louisa Peyton Scott. These are the entries that make up your class number 8. Making their way into the ring for your Hereford show now is all of your division winners. And we'll go over our champions. From your spring heifer calf division, your champion, entry 1467 from Cruz Collier. From your junior heifer calf division, your champion, 1465 from Hayden Mary Hoffman. Your champion from your senior heifer calf division, entry 1473 from Libby Perez. From your intermediate yearling female division, champion 1474, Haxton Harold Hoffman. Your champion from your spring yearling female division, entry 1477 from Fallon Gore. And your champion from your junior yearling female division, entry 1488 from Cruz Collier. These are your champions in contention and consideration for your grand champion horned female. Making their way into the ring now for your Herefords is the reserves from their respective divisions. Your reserve champion spring heifer calf, entry 1459 from Kennedy Jean Hoffman. Your reserve champion junior heifer calf, 1466 from Alexis Hammond. Your reserve champion intermediate yearling female, 1476 from Ella Pagel. Your reserve champion spring yearling female, 1482 from Ava McCoy. And your reserve horned champion junior yearling female, 1486 from Haxton Hayden and Kennedy Hoffman. Those are your reserve champions for their respective divisions in consideration for the reserve champion.
As we get into a group of February cattle here, I think they fall together this way. This heifer up here is a shade smaller and maybe not as big in her kind as some, but that's probably all right where some of the Angus show heifers are today. I think she wins because she's the soundest structured in this class, and the best footed and the most flexible in her kind, and that's why I side with her. I love the extra foot size she has, her body, her rib, her thickness there. She's a shade shorter in her neck, and then I would trim her up in her condition. You know, smaller size cattle, you'll have to manage that one and try to keep her fresh. But she moves good, she's got a good body type, and she's got a little extra dimension to her. I thought this next pair were close. If we just looked at them here standing, I'd probably side with the one in third. But I went with this one because she does get out and takes a longer stride off either end. She's a big rib, long-fronted heifer. She needs to hold everything together better down her top line, maybe raise her up a little in her pin setting, moderate her a shot in her size to beat that one that wins. Beautiful looking little heifer on the stand here, sharp fronted, sharp in her lines, very smooth made. We just set her into motion. She just really gets short striding, gets just a little odd there on her back hoof, but I think a pretty heifer. This is another big bone, moderate size, thick one here that's still got some length up front. She doesn't piece everything together behind her shoulder and the way her front feet go to the ground. I just want to change her up a little structurally. Then we'll close with a pair of big, heavy, long, deep, and wide enough cattle, but I don't know if either of them have the look or eye appeal or balance of those ones in the top of the class. But congratulations, those young people. They're battling and doing a good job.
Your results for class number 8 of your Junior Angus show: 6th place, 1071 from Jack Gillette. 5th place, 1065 from Daniel Young. 4th place, 1066 from Keegan Caroline Mather. 3rd place, 1063 from Jace Dickerson. 2nd place, 1072 from Tyler Kraft. And your class winner, 1074 from Louisa Peyton Scott. Moving into the ring will now be class number 9. Your grand champion horn female comes from your spring yearling division. That is 1477 from Fallon Gore. Rolling into consideration now will be the reserve from that division. That'll be entry 1482 from Ava McCoy.
Here on the Angus side, we got a class with a lot of variation and size and structure and all that kind of stuff. This heifer that's going to lead off here, I think she's the soundest structured one, most flexible in motion. I like her extra bone she has. She's got a great shape down her top. She's thick and powerful. A shapely, muscular heifer that gets out and goes really nicely there. She's got a little chin, and maybe I change her just a little at her pin setting there, but that's a pretty good heifer to lead off. This heifer here, I didn't overwhelm me when she first came in. She's a little plainer, a little off in there in her hind leg, but she's big-bodied, and she gets out and goes. She looks like a cow, and she's probably the first one that's had a $C here in the top 50% that we've had, and so I think in this class works her on way up there. This heifer from the onset's got a nice hair coat. She's big bone. She's kind of neat fronted. I appreciate all that. I'm just concerned a little bit about her structure. From a long-term perspective there. Square her front feet up and change her in her hock a little bit, but there is definitely a lot of extras there. Just want to change her in that regard. Another big, stout, wide, deep heifer here. Gets a little plainer up through her front end. Maybe not the look and balance, but love her performance. The next heifer's got a lot of look, and she's a little neater and sharper and really clean fronted. Maybe to the demise of her being a little tighter in her heart. And then in motion there, she gets a little rigid, but definitely has a lot of presence and style. This heifer's bigger ribbed than that one right in front of her, but she's just got a bigger shoulder and chest there. She kind of pulls her hock in from behind, gets a little plainer, but I definitely love the dimension. We'll go with a pair of smaller size cattle here that are a little fresher and more angular, but this heifer just gave up too much in terms of dimension and mass and performance. That's why they work down here. Good job to all of you, though.
Your reserve grand champion horned Hereford female went to entry 1488 from Cruz Collier. Within our Hereford show, we will take a break for pictures at the backdrop with our judge, and then we will start back up with Class 13 of polled spring heifer calves.
Well, a real nice division here as we get into our January and February calves. You know, a little more variation in these classes, but I'm happy with what ended up out here. This heifer out of the first class, like I said, she's good-footed, she's sound, she's flexible, she's really good in her body type. I mentioned she's a touch smaller, and that's okay, nothing wrong with that. I would like to see her just a little leaner for a heifer calf this age, especially back there into her flank, but I definitely love the brood cow look she has. The heifer out of the second class is a big, long-sided heifer that's got a great shape. She's heavy boned, she's square and genuine in her kind. Got about a little pinch of throat there, but still has a genuineness to her composition as well. So nice cattle there, a nice second over there that certainly is bigger and longer and prettier, and a big cowy heifer here to be second. So a little different in kinds. I think if we step over here, think about these cattle being sound and correct. I like the condition, the length, the side, and the muscle of this heifer. She's going to be our champion. Good job. We'll follow her up with this young lady up here out of Class 1.
Your champion junior Angus heifer calf for Division II is entry 1078 from Pfeiffer Rosenberger. And your reserve champion is entry 1074 from Louisa Peyton Scott. In the ring at this time for your junior Angus show is now class number 10. Class number 10 has a single entry, 1085, from Samantha Prouty of Corning, California.
Well, this young lady has a single entry, a December heifer here that's great bodied, very maternal in her appearance here, really nicely presented kind of a female that gives you a great brood cow look to her. You know, she's not the biggest footed or just the deepest in her heel or the bulkiest there, but I think just great body type with a really female look up through her front end. Good job to you.
Results for class number 10, first place, entry 1085 from Samantha Prouty. We will reset our junior Angus ring and bring up class number 7. Class number 7 will have 3 entries in total. Class 7 consists of entries 1087 from Briggs Cruz of Belgrade, Nebraska. 1088 comes from Brielle Gonzalez of Pemberton, Minnesota. And 1093 comes from Ella Brooks of Prophet Town, Illinois. These are the 3 entries that will make up class number 11.
Young man's got another single entry here, big ribbed, bold made heifer that still balances up pretty good here. You know, I think a heifer that maybe just loosen up a little out of her hind leg, but other than that, I think she brings a lot to the table. Congratulations on your class winner here at the National Western.
The results for class number 11, first place, entry 1087, comes from Briggs Kraus. Up next within the Junior Angus Show will be class number 12. Class number 12 will have entries 1097 from Seth L. Cox of Eagle Point, Oregon. 1098 from Tyler Kraft of Fort Collins, Colorado. 1099 will come from Addison Kraus of Belgrade, Nebraska. 1101 comes from Cooper Mernon of Pompey's Pillar, Montana. 1103 will come from Oakland Plamp of Mitchell, South Dakota. And 1105 will come from Chloe Boitnott of Carlock, Illinois. Our Hereford show is back underway. We are starting now with Class 13. Class 13 is polled spring heifer calves, calved March 12th through March 29th of 2024. Your results coming in for Class 11 of polled spring heifer calves. Third place, 1490, comes from Kinley Eckhoff. Second place, 1489, from Cade and Maya Connell. And your class winner, entry 1492 from Kinley Eckhoff. Set to enter the ring at this time for your Hereford show is Class 12. This is polled spring heifer calves, calved April 5th through April 27th of 2024. Within class number 12, we have entries 1496 from Kennedy Jean Hoffman, 1498 from Hadley and Hannah Harrison, 1499 from Kyla Pesky, 1500 comes from Blake and Brooke Day, 1501 from Stetson Decker, and 1502 rounds your class out which is owned by Hadley and Hannah Harrison. Those are your entries that will make up class number 12.
You know, an interesting class here of Octobers, and this class provided me a little challenge. I'll get it out of the way. This heifer is a shade much for her age and relative to her contemporaries here. But you know, you got to place what's kind of in front of you here. I think this heifer still is pretty sound. She's big-footed, she's deep-bodied, she's got a nice look to her from the profile. I'd just square her up a little from behind and tone her down just a shade. I like this heifer from her shoulder back, in her forerib, her pin width, the body type she has. She just labors a little up out of her shoulder and her front end. I think she reads just a little crustier right there at the top of her neck, plainer up front. But I do like her size, her rib, her dimension, a little more. You know, this heifer's a fresh, long-sided heifer here that's very genuine. She just looks a little gangly maybe out here in motion, just a little awkward in her hind leg, all those things. Some people might really like this heifer. She's very clean-fronted. She's a big, long heifer that gives a nice silhouette here from the profile. She's not 100% my kind, just almost a little too tight in her throat, and her forerib gets a little tighter. I want to loosen her up a little structurally speaking there at her shoulder and top line, but definitely a nice, neat-fronted female there. We get into a moderate-sized, feminine, angular heifer there. Maybe doesn't hold her balance together, then a smooth-made, long-sided heifer that just comes up a little plainer than a few. Good job to everybody in that class.
Your results for Class 12 of your Junior Angus show. 6th place, 1098 from Tyler Kraft. 5th place, 1101 from Cooper Murden. 4th place, 1105 from Chloe Boitnott. 3rd place, 1097 from Seth Cox. 2nd place, 1099 comes from Addison Kraus. And your class winner, entry 1103 from Oakland Plamp. In the ring at this time for your Angus show, we'll bring in Class 13. Class 13 will have 4 total entries. We'll have entries 1106 from Ella Ethington, 1108 from Scarlett Carney, 1111 comes from Cambria Cook, and 1112 will come from Kipton Taylor Thummel. Those will be the entries that will make up your Class 13 of your Junior Angus show.
Well, these 4 heifers kind of fall in order to me. We'll start off with this heifer up here, a long-necked, bold-rib, big-hipped heifer that's really muscular and powerful. Still gives you a nice look over here from the profile. Gets out and goes really well. Nice kind of female we'll talk more about in the division here. This is a sharper fronted, neater, more youthful one up there. I appreciate that. She's long-sided. She's genuine. There's just not as much just substance and dimension, true shape as that one that wins there, but that's a pretty nice kind of a heifer there to be second. Real deep-bodied, cowy one comes next. That's easy fleshing. Probably a shade plainer up through her front end than ideal. I'd like to just trim her up a bit. Another one, similar comments. Nice little cow here that's good ribbed and good bodied, feminine headed. Just one that's a little frailer and doesn't have quite the style or eye appeal maybe of those top couple. Congratulations.
Your results for Class 13 of your Junior Angus. 4th place entry 1112 from Kipton Taylor Thummel. 3rd place 1108 from Scarlett Carney. 2nd place 1106 from Ella Ethington. And your class winner, entry 1111 from Cambry Cook. At this time within our Angus show, we will bring back our class winners, and our judge will select your champion and reserve champion senior heifer calves. Your results for Class 12, 6th place, 1501 from Stetson Decker. 5th place, 1499 from Kyla Pesky. Fourth place, 1,500 from Blake and Brooke Day. Third place, 1498 from Hadley and Hannah Harrison. Second place, 1496 from Kennedy Jean Hoffman. And your class winner entry 1502 from Hadley and Hannah Harrison. Within your Hereford show, we will bring back into the ring Class 13. Class 13 is polled spring heifer calves calved March 12th through March 29th of 2024.
Well, as we get into our fall division here, an excellent lineup. These two heifers up here in the front, I believe, were single entries. Talked about that first one being very maternal and cowy in her kind. Maybe a little daintier in her foot size than maybe a few of them back here in the back, but a really broody one. The heifer there of the second class, again, another similar heifer in terms of the comments I could make. Talked about changing her a little out of her tail head, but pretty good kind. Then we got into two really nice classes here. Challenging class, we landed on this heifer that's big boned and deep bodied. Still's got a nice look up here about her front end. A lot of good things. A really stout, powerful one. I mentioned on this heifer here, I'd like to just strengthen her up a little down her top line. And you get to this view here down to her hock, I'd certainly like to square that up as well. Then we got a heifer out of this last class that is thick and powerful and big top and wide made and it's got a long neck to her. You know, still travels and gets out and goes very, very comfortably. Maybe got just a shade to the base of her shoulder there, but that's where I'd fix her up in a really green, extended, neat fronted heifer over there. That was second. That maybe just doesn't fit everything together, a little bit ganglier at times today, but I think definitely one into consideration there. So I think if I look at these cattle, the ones that suit me, we're going to use the extra dimension, squareness of this heifer to lead off, be our division champion. Congratulations to you.
Your champion senior heifer calf comes from Class 13. That is entry 1111 from Cambria Cook. Rolling into consideration for the reserve will be the second place from Class 13. That is entry 1106 from Ella Ethington. Your reserve senior heifer calf comes from your Class 12. That is entry 1103 from Oakland Plamp. In the ring at this time for your Angus show is now going to be our senior division of our bred and owned heifer calf category. Your champion senior bred and owned is entry 1098 from Tyler Kraft. The reserve coming via way of Kipton Taylor Thummel. In the ring at this time for your Angus show is now Class 14. Class 14 has a single entry. This is entry 1115. This comes from Hayden Riley Hahn of Rocky Ridge, Maryland.
This young lady's got a really nice July single entry here. I love the shape that she has to her rib. I think she's a very square and powerful heifer. It's got a beautiful look up there through her front end. This heifer will be very competitive. Good work.
Your results coming in for Class 14. First place entry 1115 from Hayden Riley Hahn of Rocky Ridge, Maryland. We'll reset our Angus ring and bring up Class 15. Class 15 will consist of 2 entries. We have entries 1119 from Scarlett Carney of Carbondale, Colorado, and 1120 from Lane Toledo.
Right, well, just a pair of June heifers here. I'll elect to use this bigger body, deeper sided, and neater fronted heifer here the young lady has. I think she's got a good look here. She maybe gets a little off in her loin, her tail head, pulls her hind leg in just a little bit, but I think balance, quality look there favors her. Young man's more moderate sized one here that's certainly even showing a little udder development there at this stage. She's very square and wide and opened up. She maybe just doesn't hold everything together. I'd like to change her hoof shape just a little bit and give her a little more flex out of her hock there. Congratulations to everybody.
Your results for Class 13 of your polled spring Hereford heifers: 6th place entry 1508 from Libby Perez. 5th place 1504 from Madeline, Joseph, and Aiden Shore. 4th place 1509 from Paxton Hovley. 3rd place 1505 from Kinsley Krebs. 2nd place 1507 from Haxton Harold Hoffman. And your class winner, entry 1511 from Heidi and Jace Schweiderman. In the ring at this time will now be coming in Class 14. These are polled spring heifer calves, calved March 3rd through March 6th of 2024. Within Class 14, we have entries 1514 from Allison George, 1515 from Libby Perez, 1516 from Wyatt Pagel, 1517 comes from Brayson Mayo, and 1518 comes from Fallon and Gunnar Gore. These are your entries for Class 14. This is the last class within the polled spring heifer division.
All right, well, as we get into our May class here, we got a little variation as well. I've elected to go with this heifer over here. She's maybe built a little like me. She's always been a little big for age, and she's got a lot to her, really, really powerful, and has a lot of dimension. I'd like to just change her a little up out of her shoulder there and tone her down just a shade in terms of weight and size. But I still think she's got a nice hind leg, and she's powerful and massive, and this class, I think, needs to win. The next one here is a little neater at the base of her throat and maybe a little longer strided here. This heifer gets a little smaller in her foot size. She maybe just gets a little rounder at the base of her shoulder there, but certainly a very striking look here. I like the size of this heifer here, her length of body, her length of stride. Maybe just a little plainer up front. Maybe just gets a little off down her top line, but pretty nice kind of a heifer there to be third. Then we're going to get into a pair of bigger bodied cowier heifers here. This one gets a little straighter and tighter. This heifer back here gets a little coarser. Maybe just doesn't have the bone or the true substance as a few. Congratulations to everybody there.
Your results coming in for Class 16 of your junior Angus. 5th place, 1130 from McKenna Galloway. 4th place, 1131 from Adeline Lee. 3rd place, 1126 from Spencer Allen Wright. 2nd place, 1128 from Callie Flood. And your class winner, entry 1121 from Kelly Ann Gaffney. At this time within our Angus show, we will bring back all of our class winners from classes 14, 15, and 16. Our judge will select your champion and reserve champion intermediate heifers.
As we get into our summer division here, just 3 classes, and I thought fell together. This heifer up here out of the front, I talked about being a fresh condition, nice fronted, bold ribbed, a very shapely type of a heifer that's got a good look to her from the profile. She won her class, and she's very competitive. Maybe a little bit sets her front feet out there just a shade wide, but I think that's a very genuine, square, bold heifer that still gets out and reaches and goes all right in this group here. Pretty nice kind of female to be a single entry class winner. This next one's big bodied and long fronted, nice balanced heifer. Gets a little off in her top line, maybe not the bone. Another nice moderate framed heifer over there. Then we got into this last class here. We got this big old thick wide heifer that's got a lot to her in terms of bone and mass and substance. Tone her down just a shade in terms of her size. Maybe just loosen her up and let her just reach and go a little bit more here. So good lineup of them. I still think there's a pretty obvious winner. It needs to be this single entry out of the first class. Needs to win this division. Congratulations to you.
Your champion intermediate junior heifer is coming from class 14. That is entry 1115 from Hayden Riley Hahn. Your results for Class 14 of your polled spring Hereford heifer calves. Fifth place, entry 1514 from Allison George. Fourth place, 1516 from Wyatt Pagel. Third place, 1515 from Libby Perez. Second place, 1517 from Brayson Mayo. And your class winner, entry 1518 from Fallon and Gunnar Gore. At this time within our Hereford show, we will bring back our class winners, and our judge will select your champion spring heifer calves. Within your Angus Junior show, in the ring at this time is class number 17. Class 17 consists of entries from Cooper Elliott Miller, Parker Mary Rosenberger, Jace Dickerson, Rory Peterson, Chloe Boitnott, and Parker Chestnut. These are the entries that make up your class 17.
Well, here in this class, there's a little challenge to it. You know, I made an extra lap there. This heifer wins because she's just the most agile and flexible in her structure of this group. I like her condition, her length of front end, and she's got a genuine shape there behind her. You know, right in behind her shoulder, she dips a little bit and strengthen that up. But I think of this class, freshness, length, stride, flexibility wins out there. The next three all are about similar in their structure and movement. I went with this heifer's foot size, her look up front. I like her just cow size and balance she has. I would change her in her front end structure and how that throws her balance out there, but you know, I thought just fell in there in second. This is the biggest and stoutest and lightest one of the class, and she has a lot of dimension to her. I like to make her a little prettier, right up to her shoulder and front end, and then in motion, she just comes up and off and a little in her top line. I want to loosen that up and freshen her up a shade condition-wise. You know, this heifer, you could argue her in second. Like I said, she gets a little uncoordinated moving out of her front end, her tail head. Everything kind of falls out of balance, but she is a nice fronted, deep-sided heifer. I thought of that, the 2 through 4, maybe got just a little narrower from behind, maybe just not as genuine in her rib shape. We get into a big-bodied, moderate-sized one here that's easy fleshing. Gets a little plainer front end, a little staler in her condition-wise. Like to freshen her up, make her have a neater look. And then we got an angular, feminine one here that definitely has that advantage, but she gets a little narrow and a little peaked. I'd like to stouten her up just a shade as she from behind. But good class there, some challenge to it.
Your polled champion spring Hereford heifer calf comes from our Class 12. That is entry 1502 from Hannah and Hadley Harrison. The reserve champion comes from Class 14. That is entry 1518 from Fallon and Gunnar Gore. Within your Hereford show, we will bring in class number 15. This is our junior division of Hereford heifers. Class 15 was calved February 7th through February 26th of 2024. Within Class 15, we will have entries from Chesney Dubit, Fallon and Gunnar Gore, Delaney Chester, Ivy Fawcett, Jordan Mitchum, Alexis Hammond. Those will be the entries that will make up Class 15 of your Herefords. Results to get to in Class 17 of your Angus show. 6th place went to entry 1139 from Rory Peterson. 5th place, 1134 from Parker Mary Rosenberg. 4th place, 1142 from Parker Chestnut. 3rd place, 1136 from Jace Dickerson. 2nd place, 1133 from Cooper Elliott Miller. And your class winner, entry 1141 from Chloe Boitnott. In the ring at this time for your Angus show is now Class 18. Class 18 has entries from Brenna Leanne Bartlow, Sloan Curtin, Jace Dickerson, Caitlin Lee Poser, and Kimberly Gray. Those are the 5 entries that make up your Class 18 on your Angus show side.
So we get into these junior yearling females here. A really nice heifer to lead off here with some foot and some bone to her. I like her length of hip, her strength down her top line. I think in this class she's got just a little more look up front, and I think maybe just stays a little square there from behind. A very nice heifer to lead off here. Maybe at times just come in just a little tentative off her back right foot, but I think other than that, I think that's a very, very good heifer there that does a lot of nice things. This heifer here is a massive, powerful, wide-made heifer that's got a lot of dimension to her. I appreciate that. Maybe gets just a little plainer up through her front end or condition. I'd like to tone her back just a little bit, and I think that'll allow her to go a little more comfortably there. This is a fresher heifer that's longer fronted, longer sided. I appreciate that. I'd like to just maybe change her a little off her hind leg as well, but I thought she had a little more dimension. This is an angular, kind of flexible made heifer here. You get behind them, I just don't know if there's near as much dimension or substance to this heifer from a power and performance standpoint. Congratulations to all those young people.
Almost there.
Your results for Class 18 on your junior Angus side. Fourth place, 11:57 from Kimberly Gray. Third place, 11:51 from Jace Dickerson. Second place, 11:46 from Brenna Leanne Bartlow. And your class winner, entry 11:49 from Sloan Curtin. In the ring at this time for our Angus show will now be coming in Class 19. Class 19 will consist of entries from Gunnar Gore, Brenna Leanne Bartlow, Lane Toledo, Suter Clark, and Ann Damron. Those are the entries that will make up Class 19. For those of you that are wondering what's happening in our Angus show ring, we have paused the show because we have a dual exhibitor. So we have a showman that is in the ring for our Herefords, and we are waiting for that class to conclude for our Angus show to get underway. We will now hear our reasons from our judge for our Hereford show. Your results for Class 15 of your polled junior Hereford heifers. 6th place, 1531 from Alexis Hammond. 5th place, 1528 from Jordan Mitchum. 4th place, 1522 from Chesney Dubit. 3rd place, 1525 from Ivy Fawcett. 2nd place, 1524 from Delaney Chester. And your class winner, entry 1523 from Fallon and Gunnar Gore. Within your Hereford show, we will now bring into the ring Class 16. Class 16 will consist of junior heifer calves calved January 3rd through January 31st of 2024. We have entries 1532 from Brayson Mayo, 1536 from Hollis Fawcett, 1537 from Bella Presnall, and 1538 from Cruz Collier. This is the last class within our division of junior heifer calves. Over in your Angus show, in the ring at this time is now Class 19. Class 19 consists of entries 1165 from Fallon and Gunnar Gore, 1166 from Brenna Leanne Bartlow, 1167 from Lane Toledo, 1171 from Suter Clark, and 1172 from Ann Damron. That is your Class 19 within your Angus show. Your results for Class 16. In 2nd place, entry 1532 from Brayson Mayo. And your class winner, entry 1537 from Bella Presnall. At this time, within our Hereford show, we will bring back our class winners from 15 and 16. Our judge will select your champion and reserve champion polled junior heifer calves. Our Hereford show will start back up as soon as our class that is in the ring. Over on the Angus side, we do have a dual exhibitor for both breeds. So once Class 19 has been selected, we will continue on with our Hereford show. So we will let our judge do his due diligence and grade Class 19, and we will get back started with our Hereford division drive.
As we get into these Februaries here, nice class and 5 cattle here with, I think, a lot of utility to them. This heifer that leads off, I think, these cattle are each change a little movement-wise. I like the length of front end, the width, the power, the substance that she possesses there. She's stout and wide and still got a good look up there about her front end. I appreciate she's coming into some udder. I would change her a little out of her front end and how she goes there. But I don't know if we got an upgrade, and that heifer's got the neatest look with the most dimension and power and substance to her here. This next heifer, I like her size, I like her presentation, I like her foot size and bone that she has. She's thick and good rib. This heifer gets a little up in her top line when she gets out and goes there. She's not as neat up through front end either there, but I elected to go with a little more bone and dimension maybe than the next heifer in the lineup. This next heifer's got a really nice silhouette, and she looks pretty here from the profile, neat fronted, deep flanked. She really was struggling there out of her front end when we were leading them around there. She wants to pull up a little in her top line. I didn't think she quite moved as good, and then maybe just is a little bigger and flatter compared to those first two there, but certainly a feminine and smooth kind of a heifer as well. The next one here in the lineup is fresh and angular and feminine. She's got a nice foot underneath her. A heifer, though, that doesn't have as much dimension in behind her shoulder. She comes in a little bit. I think compared to those first three, gets outmassed. A nice big-bodied heifer here that's certainly easy fleshing here, and definitely maybe has a little more rib than the one ahead of her. This heifer falls out of balance when we put her in motion there, kind of just balls up a little bit. I'd like to loosen her up, make her just a little more flexible off either end. Congratulations to all those folks with their February bred heifers.
Your results for Class 19 on your Junior Angus show. 5th place goes to 1171 from Suter Clark. 4th place, 1167 from Lane Toledo. 3rd place, 1165 from Gunnar Gore. 2nd place, 1172 from Ann Damron. And your class winner was entry 1166 from Brenna Leanne Bartlow. Within our Angus show, we will move on to class number 20. Class 20 will consist of 2 entries, 1174 from Ashton DeLoe and 1179 from Hunter Anderson. Those are the 2 entries that will make up Class 20. This is the last class within the division. So after Class 20, we will bring back our class winners to have our judge select your champion and reserve champion junior yearling heifers. Back over to our Hereford side, we have in the ring at this time our division selections for our champion and reserve junior heifer calves. We have our first in place winners from classes 15 and 16. Your polled champion junior heifer comes from class 15. That is going to be entry 1523 from Gunnar Gore. Your reserve champion junior heifer calf comes out of class 16. That is entry 1537 from Bella Presnall.
All right, well, here as we get into our last class of these Januaries, we got a really nice little heifer here to lead off. I think I appreciate just her freshness, her condition, her female character she has up through her front end. Her flexibility to her structure, I think, is what sets her apart here. And I think, a 15 or 1,450 pound, bred heifer is plenty big and has a lot to her. And so I think size, condition, all that kind of fits her there really nicely. This heifer in second's a real breeding piece too, and I like her a lot. I think she's big bone, deep bodied, massive and wide and all that kind of stuff there. Maybe pushing the limit a little bit there. I'd like to change her up a little in her structure, but I think massive ribbed and stout featured. Congratulations to both those exhibitors.
Your results for class 20 of your Angus show: second place 1179 from Hunter Anderson. Class winner, first place 1174 from Ashton Dillow. At this time, within our Angus show, we will bring back our class winners, and our judge will select your champion and reserve champion junior yearling Angus heifers. In the ring at this time for your Hereford show is now class 17. These are polled senior heifer calves, calved November 4th through December 14th of 2023. We have 3 entries in class 17. 1540 comes from Joseph Shore. 1541 from Samantha Lynn Campbell, and 1543 from Cole and Hunter Smith. These are the 3 entries that make up class 17. Your results for Class 17 of your polled senior Hereford heifers. Third place, 1543 from Colin Hunter Smith. Second place, 1540 from Joseph Shore. And your class winner, entry 1541 from Samantha Lynn Campbell. Making their way into the ring at this time for our Herefords is going to be Class 18. Class 18 consists of entry 1544 from Caden and Corbin Perry, and 1546 also from Caden and Corbin Perry. These are the two entries that will make up your Class 18 of your Herefords. Your results for Class 18 on your Hereford: second place, 1546 from Caden and Corbin Perry, and first place, 1544, also from Caden and Corbin Perry.
Here in our junior yearling division on the Angus side, it's probably as challenging of a decision as we've had to make. And it might be because they're, this size of show, there wasn't that many, but there were lots of different variations of kinds and shapes and sizes. And maybe there's a spot or two we would improve each one of them if we could, but they're really good cattle, a lot of usefulness to them. I think, how you want to breed them and mate them going forward, I think is exciting. I think they're cattle that have quality to them. I'll make a few comments, and that way we're understanding kind of where I thought and think and everything falls. This heifer that won the first class, she won that class because she was loose structured and long strided and pretty fresh in her condition with a nice front end. I don't know if her top line all hooks together just as appropriately as maybe I would like, and I would just maybe change her from shoulder into forerib and how that all blends together there. But I think a neat-fronted, loose-structured heifer. This heifer here in second, or the second class winner, she gives me a tremendous look right here from the profile. She's a heavy-boned heifer. She's got some length up to her front. She's got some length of side. I really like her out of her hip there. And I just think she's got a stout, kind of generating brood cow kind of look to her there. A couple little things. She turns her front feet out just a little bit. Today she's just a little hesitant off her back right hind leg there. I don't think she's unsound. She's a big bone, thick made heifer with a nice look there. The next heifer in the lineup is a neat fronted, wide pin, bold ribbed heifer that is really far along in calf here. I can appreciate the way she has so much mass with still a nice, neat little front end about her there. You know, a couple little things on this heifer. Out of her shoulder, I changed her just a little bit, and maybe she's showing a little more condition back there to her pone. But I love the rib, the body, the front end, the genuine stoutness to her that she possesses there. And again, you know, I didn't mention the seconds in those. Our second class winner was a stout, powerful one. Another one here that had some bone and dimension out of that third class there. They got a little tighter in her top. And then we get back here to this last class. We got a nice, feminine, fresh conditioned heifer that's good in her body. I think one that gives you a really pretty look here from the profile. A heifer that, you know, is a little smaller in her foot size. You know, she's a little daintier compared to a couple of these ahead of her. You know, I think she's still appropriate. I would like to see her maybe just a little bigger footed and maybe a little bulkier, but I can appreciate really fresh, pretty heifers like that as well. She was followed by a big old massive, wide, heavy one. That was maybe a shade big and just a little staler in terms of condition as well. So you can see there's a lot of good cattle. There's variations in kinds here. One of the challenging things is, as a judge, you ultimately want to try to have cattle that fit together. You know, pick two of them that look alike. I was not presented with that ability in this lineup here. There are not really two of them out here that are similar, I guess I would say. And so that becomes a little bit of a challenge. There'll certainly be some differences. I'm going to think about which ones possess the best combination of traits and breeding value with structure and balance to them. And we'll find you a couple champions here because there's certainly a lot of variation. But with that, put your hands together. I appreciate these people bringing their big junior yearlings here for me to evaluate.
Your champion junior yearling comes from class 18. That is entry 1149 from Sloan Curtin. Your results for Class 19 of your Herefords. Fourth place, 1549 from Peyton Perez. Third place, 1552 from Samantha Campbell. Second place, 1554 from Hayden Hoffman. And your class winner, 1553 from Paige Lemonager. At this time within our Hereford show, we will bring back our class winners. From classes 17, 18, and 19, our judge will select your champion and reserve champion, polled senior Hereford heifers. Within our Angus show at this time, we have brought back all of our division winners. Our judge will be selecting your grand champion and reserve grand champion junior Angus females. Your champion polled senior heifer Hereford comes from class 19. That is entry 1553 from Paige Lemonager of Hudson, Illinois. Rolling into consideration for the reserve will be the second place from class 19. Your polled reserve champion senior heifer calf comes from class 17. That's going to be coming via way of Samantha Campbell of Eaton, Colorado. Moving into the ring at this time for your Hereford show will now be our next division. Next division would be yearling females. This will be class 20. These are polled early summer yearling females. These females were calved May 9th through May 21st of 2023. Within class 20, we've got entries 1557 from Fallon and Gunnar Gore, 1559 from Hayden Hoffman, 1560 from Carly, Michael, and Marin Coulterman, and entry 1561 from Hadley and Hannah Harrison. These are your entries that will make up class 20. This is the only class within the division, so first and second within class 20 will become your champion and reserve champion intermediate yearling females.
Well, again, I want to say thank you to the American Angus Association and all the leadership, the junior directors out here in the green coats, and all the folks on the activities and judge selection committee for selecting me to evaluate the junior show here. It is an honor. I love being able to interact with the juniors. I said this before, but at Oklahoma State, we get certainly a bunch of juniors that are members of the National Junior Angus Association. And I love working with them every day. I love the professionalism they have and just the go-getter attitude that a lot of them possess. And so it is an awesome association and junior activities group here, and you guys do it right. This has been a blast. I know it's the last year here in the stadium arena, and it's an honor to be able to judge in here one more time. I remember when I was a young kid and I got the opportunity to judge here, hearing your voice echo in this arena where a lot of legends have been is certainly something that you do not take lightly. And it's a real pleasure to get that chance one more time before we move down the hill. Thank you very much. These heifers have been really nice, and I know that there's another show that you'll go on, and believe me, I showed cattle this week and had judging teams and things like that. There is a lot of differences of opinions, and you know, there's a lot of people over here that will do things differently than me, and that's okay. I would go lobby to the people that select the judges, and maybe they'll pick you. But I get to pick them today, and this is my opinion, and I'm very proud of these cattle out here. I don't know if there's necessarily something anybody has to do, and you can certainly have your own opinion. I've enjoyed them. I would encourage you guys. The Angus show heifer market is robust and large. There's continues to be people that want to be involved, continue to harness that, continue to invite those people in and show them a good time here. And I am just floored by the quality of these cattle. I'll make one more comment here but my wife is at home and she had to put together our kids, and they said they were going to watch today, so I wanted to give her a shout out for staying at home and taking care of two wild children while I get to be on the road with the judging team. So thank you very much. Last thing, There's a lot of good cattle, different shapes and sizes and kinds. But in my opinion, I would be very disappointed if I didn't use this one that's going to win. She suits me very well, hit me very hard coming in, and I am a huge fan of her. Gets a little closer to for reserve, but it's been a fantastic show. Put your hands together. I'll go slap your champion in this lineup. Awesome group of Angus cattle.
Your grand champion, Angus female, is your champion junior heifer calf from Division 1. That is entry 1058 from Allison Friesen. Your results for Class 20 on your Herefords. Fourth place, 1560 from Carly, Michael, and Marin Coulterman. Third place, 1557 from Fallon and Gunnar Gore. Second place, 1559 from Hayden Hoffman. And your class winner is entry 1561 from Hadley and Hannah Harrison. Your first and second place within Class 20 becomes your champion and reserve champion intermediate yearling females. In the ring at this time for your Hereford show is now Class 21. These are polled spring yearling females. They were calved March 2nd through March 30th of 2023. We have entries 1565 from Jordan Meacham, 1566 from Philip Mueller, 1567 from Kinsley and Cashlin Krebs, and 1571 from Cruz Collier. These are the four entries that make up Class 21. Class 21 is the only class within the division. So first and second within your Class 21 become your champion and reserve champion spring yearling females. Your champion bred and owned on your Angus side is 1058 from Allison Friesen. And your reserve champion bred and owned is entry 1074 from Louisa Peyton Scott. Congratulations to our bred and owned exhibitors on our Angus side.